Welcome into a new edition of the Whole Nother Show. This is a big episode. So if you notice, it's a little bit different. We're in a new podcast studio. It's pretty cool. And we got a big time guest, Dyrell Roberts. Coach, welcome to the show.
I appreciate y'all having me. Thank you a lot.
Let's go, man. So it's a busy time of the year for you guys. You got camp season, you got recruiting, a lot of other stuff going on, obviously, with the new law that just passed with NIL and stuff.
Yes,
so
sir.
how is it for you right now?
For me, this is kind of one of my second best fun time of the year. I mean, of course, when you're in the season, you love that. Then when you kind of switch gears and get into this recruiting cycle, that's what I like to do. I kind of pride myself on that cycle, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, when you talk to players and stuff, we've got a ton of players on, obviously, which appreciate you guys for letting us have them on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They all say anyone around you is like recruiter, like how good you are. And we were talking off air about, you recruiting territories and stuff.
Yes, sir.
When you got into coaching, did you think you were going to be that passionate about recruiting, or were you just like more like it's a coach and then you fell into recruiting and it was kind of your niche?
I think recruiting was always my thing. I mean, when I first got into it, of course, I was a younger guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was fresh off of playing and kind of had a little name behind me a little bit playing wise. So like especially when I first got into it, I ended up coaching. College wise, I ended up going JUCO. So it was like I was getting my hands on everything, you know what I mean? So it kind of opened my mind and my eyes up. And then once I started to really kind of climb through the ranks a little bit, I kind of like found my niche, you know what I mean? And like I could kind of figure out, okay, this is how you do it at each level. And I kind of, I didn't skip any levels. So I think once I kind of got going and really got comfortable, it was like, recruiting is my thing. Like I'm a big relationship guy. I love talking to guys. I love like calling, texting, FaceTime, and talking to families. All of that stuff is like really, that's what I specialize in.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And you can tell like former players, even when you talk about Zay Winstead, like people who talk highly of you who haven't played for you in forever. It's like, wow, they actually keep up with each other and stuff like that. I want to talk to the JUCO stuff because that's a different like lifestyle.
Oh,
I mean, from everything I've heard, I didn't play JUCO, Keaton didn't either.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean,
buddies that did though.
Yeah, we all doing like. We've seen Last Chance U. So were you Last Chance U style JUCO or?
Far as talent wise, yes.
Really?
But we didn't have the TV show or anything like that. I was at ASA Brooklyn.
Okay.
So it's an ASA Brooklyn, and it was also an ASA Miami for a little while. It may still be a Miami school. I don't know, but I know I was at the one in Brooklyn for a couple months, and it opened my eyes to
Brooklyn, New
lot.
York?
Yes.
Woo!
I literally lived like 3 blocks away from the Barclays Center.
No
I was
way.
a RA. Like it was,
What?
I mean, you name it, I was a part of it. And you can imagine being in Brooklyn. It's like, hold on, this is for the most part, big city. You know what I mean? Like you think of basketball, that's what you think of.
Yeah.
But football, it was a different animal out there. I'm talking about practicing in the middle of a city. You got one just random turf field in the middle of who knows what, and you trying to bring a team and bust a team out. It opened my eyes. It definitely opened my eyes. That JUCO, I got a respect for the JUCO game that it'll never leave. I promise you that.
Well, that's like a grind in general, and I'll let you get to your question. Is like, was there ever a moment, if that was one of your first gigs, where you're like, dude, this is not what I thought this was going to be?
Oh, heck yes. Heck yes. Like when I first got there, when my first drive into New York, I literally ask myself, is this really what I want to do? Like, I went from coaching high school ball to being a cop for 2.5 years to kind of my life was somewhat smooth sailing for a little bit. I kind of got used to life, I guess, outside of being a football player. And I said, let me try to, jump into this college thing. When I got into it, I was like, I don't know what the heck I just did, but I'm a faith guy, so I'm gonna stay prayed up, and I'm gonna trust that God going to work me through this the way He needs to. So it ended up working out for me, but it was a ride. I promise you, it was a ride.
So what took you to that journey? Because I know you were a cop for a little bit.
Yes, sir.
You coached high school football.
Yes,
what
sir.
made you think, hey, I want to try this college thing out?
For me, I loved my experience when I played college ball, and I didn't get a chance. I had injuries, so I didn't get a chance to, go on professionally, do any of that stuff. So for me, it was like I always knew I wanted to coach. I just didn't know if it was going to be little league, high school, if I wanted to try to make the jump to college. But in my mind, I knew I never wanted to. I don't have any really goals of trying to get to the NFL or the professional level because I didn't get a chance to, do it at that level. And I just feel like it's a certain found of respect that it's like, when you do it, it's one thing. When you get to that level, it's another thing when you go in there and dealing with grown men that have been playing this game, you know what I mean, just as long. So, but I always knew I wanted to. I did. I just didn't know what level I wanted to do it at. Like I said, I'm thankful that I made a leap of faith. I jumped in, got into this college game. It didn't took me to some crazy places, but gave me a lot of great experiences. And like I said, I wouldn't change none of it for the world.
Now, when you look at your Virginia Tech playing days,
yes, sir.
Coach Beamer,
yes, sir.
Legend,
yes, sir.
When you look at your coaching style, do you look at any of your old college coaches? You played for a bunch of legends, and you play with some great NFL players. Do you pull your coaching tendencies from any of those players that you played with during college, or coaches, or anyone from high school when you were younger?
My receiver coach, Kevin Sherman, I definitely pull a lot from him.
Head coach at Wofford, right?
He's at Furman.
Furman.
I got the head coach at Furman. Yeah, I definitely do. He was definitely a father figure for me. He took care of me the 5 years I was there at Virginia Tech. Just with his style, he was kind of more of a right in your face kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like he was more old school rather than new school. So I knew
a quarterback coach like that.
Exactly.
Tony Peterson.
You know how I go. So it's like old school wise, I take that away from him. Coach Beamer, I kind of keep my steady Eddie about him. Like Beam was never too high, never too low. And it was, you knew what you was going to get with him every single day. It wasn't going to be, oh, he's high this day, he's low this day. Nah, it was, everything was smooth sailing. That's kind of how he wanted us to live our life. So I always take that from him. And then my godfather coached me in high school, and he was by far the hardest coach that I've had. By far, he was on me, and he's still on me to this day. You know what I mean? But he helped take my game to a whole nother level, because it was like I was good, but it's somebody that you got in your corner that's like, I don't care that you good. Like it doesn't matter to me. Like you good, but whatever, you still can't beat me type deal. You know what I mean? So he kind of lit that fire underneath me to be able to know that it's always something more inside of you that me as a coach have to get out or help my guys get out. So I think those would be kind of the most beneficial for me. I mean, I could go back to Pop Warner. I had the same Pop Warner coach for pretty much my entire career. My team just kept moving up together. Yep. So he played a big part in me too, Coach Mark Brake. But that was that was a while ago. But I would have to give the credit to those guys. That would definitely be the guys.
So when you talk about like these relationships, like clearly they still mean something to you. You still talk to them. Is that something you're taking into coach and saying like that's the relationships I want my receivers to have with me even when they're gone, even when I'm here now?
Without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. Anybody, whether you come into my room and we're together for 6 months, 3 years, 4 years, whatever, you play for me, you don't play for me, regardless of the matter, when we depart or the game of football kind of ends and we go separate ways, like you always going to know that you can pick up the phone and you can call me. Like I had the same cell phone number since 7th grade.
Let's go.
Literally. So
that's real.
You can always get in contact with me, and my guys know, like even with Zay to this day, like we talk every week type deal, whether it's just on Instagram, whether it's a text, whether it's a call. It may not be, a certain means of communication, but you always going to know that I got your back.
Yeah,
and
if
you need something, I'll stop whatever I'm doing to make sure you're taken care of.
Because that's something I saw when Chase Sewell entered the portal and he committed, like you like quoted it and said like congratulations and stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was just like,
yes, sir.
You don't see that in college athletics now.
It could be it could be my downside as a coach. Maybe I'm a little too cool, but when I get a chance, like I said, the relationship stuff means something to me. Like it really does. And with Chase being the first ever recruit that I was able to bring here, cool. Like with me when I got the job here, and for him to go and have the success that he had on the field and stuff like that, it was just one of those deals where the college game is changing. So we would be fools to kind of keep the same old school mindset when it's like the whole dynamic of this game is different now. And for me, I mean, I'm not as old as some of the older coaches, so I guess they're kind of stuck in their ways. Me, I'm like, man, look, as the game change, I change. Like, I'm going to coach the same way, but you got to build in relationships. You got to go about handling your business a completely different, different avenue now because, like I said, the game is just different, man. So you got to change as the times change.
When you we talked about Chase transferring, then you had a star receiver in Yannik Smith, who probably could have went somewhere.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt,
and get paid. And like, look, we all know, like when you're that age and you get offered money, like it's like, okay,
yes, sir.
A lot of people just see the money. Now, hats off to him for coming back. How hard is it to keep a star freshman receiver in your room?
It's hard. It is hard. I can promise you that. I mean, Boneyard do a great job helping. You know what I mean? Keep kind of easing those conversations a little bit, making them a little bit easier. But for my mindset, I know a lot of coaches kind of come out and say now that relationships don't matter. I beg to differ on that because if relationships didn't matter, I wouldn't have Anthony Smith. I wouldn't have Yannik Smith. I wouldn't have, half of the guys that I have right now still in my room because they would have tried to take them back and take them to that higher level because they both are dynamic players that can play at that P4 level. But for me, the relationship that I had built with those guys, with Yannik, with his mom, with, his family in general, it all came full circle and it helped, get things kind of done where, talking in through it, we going through the recruiting process, they kind of knew, and I'm telling them, and I say this even to this day, if I do my job right, the way that I trust and know that I can do it, you'll be with me maybe 1 or 2 years anyway, and you can be gone regardless. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of how it goes. It's the name of the game. You know what I mean? So, and again, people may look at me crazy or look at me funny because you're having that conversation with those guys, but it's like, if I can have that conversation with especially a high school player coming out, I know I'm on the right guys. 100%. I know I'm recruiting the right guys because, again, when I'm looking at them, everybody in the country, other receiver coaches are looking at the same time. And if I'm like, okay, I'll take my guys with me anywhere in the country. So, again, if I do my job right, I recruit the right players, they're going to come knocking. They're going to come trying to take them from me. It is what it is.
When you look at tendencies for receivers when you're recruiting and coaching, I had an old school receiver coach in high school. He played at Carolina, old school guy, also a tight end.
Yes, sir.
And stock blocking was key. And you look at that NC State game, Rajay breaks it. Anthony Smith had an electric block right there. If he didn't hit that block, maybe an 12-yard run.
No doubt.
How big is stock blocking for receivers and playing for you?
You don't block, you don't play. Like, that's just, is what it is with me. You know what I mean? Like, I played at Virginia Tech. Anybody who followed my career and where I played with 3,000-yard backs almost every single year. At least 2 of them every year. You know what I mean? Yep. So I made my money and my living returning to football, making a couple catches here and there, but I didn't go out and catch 12, 15 balls a game. That wasn't our offense. You know what I mean? Yep. So for me, I prided myself in blocking, and I still pride myself today. Like, my guys, you have to freaking block. If you don't, you will not touch the football or you won't see the field. Like, it just is what it is with me. You know what I mean?
Especially for the run game.
Exactly.
And then stacking, when you're stacking, and how do you teach the stacking? Like, usually restacking on the go routes and post routes. And
for me, my main goal, I try not to handcuff my guys. Yeah. Like, whatever we do release-wise, I want to win at the line. I want to stay clean. I want to keep my pads clean, keep the hands off you. Once you're able to get that vertical step and then get that foot in the ground to get yourself vertical, it's just trying to put yourself, we call it the purple line. That's that's kind of how we paint it on the field. But you're trying to stack yourself up and hold that purple line to the point where you can either make an inside catch or make an over-the-shoulder type catch for me. But from everything that when I'm talking about stacking, it all starts at the release point for me. Like, everything that we're doing is trying to win at the line and keep our pads clean.
And then from there, like the back shoulder, is that natural for a lot of guys, or is that something you got to coach up on?
It depends. Guys like Zay, like Isaiah Winstead, it was natural as it came. You can throw the ball wherever you want, and he gonna go get it. You know what I mean? But some guys may not have that just natural niche at just catching the back shoulder ball. So we will do it. It is a time and a place for it, but we don't make a living off of back shoulder throws how we did in the last offense and at some of the offense that I've been through so far.
What we want coach to coach up the clip we have right here on this receiver. 14 right there in the bottom.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 6. That's perfect right there. Holding that ball up, getting it up, making show.
Coach me up. Where do I need to work on here? It's a little. Have the inside corner there.
Yeah, I'm liking what you're doing, though. I'm liking the way you came off the ball.
What about a spin there?
That spin is that's textbook. I like what you're doing. The best thing that you possibly did there was not just run yourself down inside. He had inside leverage already, so just closing the cushion. That's to tell my guys the fastest way to get to a point is what? Straight line, A to B. So you did that, you attacked it slightly, gave him a little stick inside to, move him out of that lane that you want and put yourself in position to be able to catch that back shoulder throw. So I think that's a good rep. I definitely think that's a good rep.
Was there a false step in that release I had?
Technically, he was off coverage, so your release really didn't mean as much because it wasn't press coverage. You know what I mean? In this type of situation, it's a little bit easier for you because you could just get off the ball, attack his technique, step on his toes, and put himself right there in the position that you did, leaving him on that upfield shoulder. You put him where you needed to be. At the end result of 6 points like this, I'm never gonna complain.
Yes,
I promise you. I'm never. We got stuff. We can every clip we can coach off something, but a touchdown. That's 6 points. Let's line it back up. We're gonna celebrate.
Nice.
Come on to the sideline.
Now, Coach, how do you rate this stance?
Just the flat foot part I don't like. I want you to put head and shoulders over knees and toes, get that weight going forward, force that front heel, get that front heel up off the ground so you really could be, it's almost like you should be shot out of a slingshot almost. That's what I like to tell my guys anyway.
Coach, what you don't know about that clip is there was 1,000 others of him getting strapped, but there was that one.
It's all good, man. You got that one that you could pull up. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Father's Day is coming up, and you know what that means? You got to get a Father's Day a gift. Look, me and Keaton love our dads. We want to give them something they deserve, but we're just not good at gift shopping. So what do? We go to ansonbelt.com. They have a special right now, as you can see on the TV. Buy 2 complete belts, get the 3rd free. Go to ansonbelt.com. Look, you can mix and match. That's technically 3 complete belts, but you can mix and match the belt and the buckle. You're really getting way more than 3K, and we love Anson Belt.
Hey, my dad's a veteran. What's after Father's Day? The 4th of July. Anson Belt has great U.S. flag. American flag belts. And also, they have great pirate buckles as well. Check out Anson Belt. Go to ansonbelt.com. Great selections.
Official belt of the Pirates. Dyrell Roberts will be wearing it on game day as well, because that's what the coaches do. So you played at Virginia Tech.
Yes, sir.
People, we just talked about that.
Yes,
You're obviously at ECU now. There's a rival history there that a lot of fans want back, and you played ECU when you were there. What do you remember about those games? And then, we'll move on from the conversation from that. But just those games versus ECU, what do you remember?
Electrifying. Every single one. Every single game. My first ever collegiate game was actually versus ECU.
Wow.
And I got my first collegiate loss versus ECU. My first college game, we played in the Panther Stadium. They ended up blocking a punt, a field goal, or something like that, and we ended up losing the first game of the season. It was a decent day for me, stat-wise for me, but none of that mattered because we lost the game, you know what I mean? But it was electrifying, though, and first college game, NFL Stadium. The Pirates traveled well, Hokies traveled well. Stadium was jam-packed. It was a great environment. Then your guys came to us. We got a little get back that next year when you came to us. I actually got in the end zone that game.
Yes, sir.
And then we came down, and I played here one year also. We ended up winning, but it was still a game, though.
Yeah.
It definitely was a game. So the way that all the Pirates are saying they want that rivalry back, I do too, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I played in 3 games versus the Pirates, and they were all electrifying and great games. And, I mean, we're close. I mean, like, it's not that far away to be able to, meet somewhere in the middle or make it a home and away. I mean, whatever you want to do. But we travel well. Hokies travel well. It's going to be, like, you know what I mean? I think it could be, we could have some more memorable matchups that go down in history, to be honest.
100%. And then kind of with that, ECU is technically the smaller school there. Virginia Tech's a bigger school. I just saw NC State. We'll get to y'all playing them too, but NC State, canceled their game versus App State going there. Do you think that's going to be more of a trend in college football now that, I mean, it's a new world, like you said, a gazillion different things are happening of bigger schools not going to, quote unquote, smaller schools now?
Unfortunately, I do. I do think it's going to be a trend. I mean, just because you got so much money involved now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And schools are paying, and the money is divvied and going different places. So, when they get back out of games, maybe so they don't have to pay another school, you know what I mean, money to have to go and pay you. They probably thinking, so we can use this money to, give it to the guys or put it towards this, that, and the third. So unfortunately, it probably is going to be, a trend, but hopefully we can, get some stuff locked in, get some contracts where it's like, okay, they're not going to, they're not back out of it, at least make it to a point where it's like, if you do back out of it, it's going to be beneficial for us that you did back out of it, and not just be, hey, we're not playing you or we're not coming there, and we're just kind of moving on and wiping our hands clean of it.
For sure.
Talking about those Virginia Tech days, how cool was it to play with Tyrod Taylor? What was he like?
That's my guy. That's my guy. He kind of taught me really what a leader looked like. You know what I mean? Like, because, I played quarterback in high school a little bit, quarterback, running back, athlete type deal. I didn't throw no passes, but high school wise, I kind of was the quote unquote leader type guy, you know what I mean? So I never had a chance to really truly see how a quarterback leads. And he was the first QB1 that I played with that I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do whatever this guy tells me to do because he has that X factor. Like you can look at him and just tell like, yeah, he goes about his business the right way. And it's like, if I'm on the bus with him, I'm going to trust everything he say because he's going to take us to the promised land. I promise you that. And we won a lot of games because of that, Joker. That's for sure.
No, that's sick, dude. So did you know in college, that he was going to be, kind of like we felt about Keaton Mitchell was he was going to be a guy right away?
Heck yeah, man. It was just certain guys. It's just certain guys that you walk in, you get in the city, and it's like, yeah, he's one of those ones.
Yeah.
Him, all them running backs, David Wilson, Ryan Williams, Darren Evans, Cam Chancellor, Macho Harris. I mean, all of those guys, you look at like, yeah, they just different.
Yeah.
Like, he's different. He's going to play this game for a long time. And they all did. Like, they all did it for a very long time.
Kim Chandler's a beast, dude. I saw him in person when I was in Seattle, and I was like, oh, my gosh.
And as crazy as this sounds, and people might not remember, but it's probably filmed somewhere in Blacksburg right now of it. Every single blocking drill, hitting drill, everything, I was partnered up with Cam. Every single one. Every single time. Every time. Now, I promise you, if Coach Sherman got film of it, you can go watch any one of our blocking drill, anything that we did. Every single time I'm with Cam Chancellor, and I'm one of the smallest receivers on our team.
You pull that up for your guys.
I wish I could get my hands on it. Yeah. I wish I could. But every single time, I'm talking about every day felt like a concussion. Every day.
He's huge. I was about to say,
every day.
I bet you handled yourself, but I know there are some days.
Oh, man. It made me tougher. It made me tougher. And once I got into when I got into games, I wasn't worried about, no DBs or I wasn't nervous or anything. I'm like, man, I go against Cam Chancellor every day. I'm not worried. It's nothing you guys could do to me that can put any more hurt on me than what he already does on a day-to-day basis. So,
wow. So you just kind of going to another subject is a lot of coaches in coaches business, they talk about like moving and it's never always steady. Like one bad year can get you survived a coaching change and an offensive staff change in the same place.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of that is recruiting, you being young, connecting with people. But what do your experience with that, and then what do you think kept you here?
To be real with you, I didn't really have experience with it, to be honest with you. The only other situation that I'll take that back. I guess the Division II school I was at for 1 year, that entire school decided to close. So I didn't have a choice but to find a job. And luckily, that's where Coach Scott came in, took me in, brought me back home, gave me my first Division I job at Norfolk State. So I was very thankful of that. Western Illinois, after year 3, they decided to let the whole staff go, but I ended up surviving that one too and stayed on with that head coach. I was only there for maybe another week or so before I took the Virginia Tech job. But I survived that one, and then being here at East Carolina, again, I think recruiting played a big part of it. I do. I definitely think it does. And the fact that Coach Houston, I was kind of Coach Houston's guy.
Yeah.
And when he did bring me in, he kind of, had that conversation, was like, man, I brought you here with the vision of giving you opportunity to build your room and get some guys around and do some things. He was like, after year 1, you brought Chase here. He was the number 1 receiver. You kind of got some other guys. You building some guys up. So he just kind of said he was wanting to give me some time. You know what I mean? And once he decided to hire Coach JDB, and me and JDB sat down, and we kind of we hit it off right from the get-go. And from there, it was kind of, I was like, okay, well, I might be okay, and had a conversation. And Coach said, yeah, we want to keep you on. So I was very happy and very fortunate about that. Oh my God, man. I was thank God every day for that. And, from, what happened last year, it was unfortunate. You hate to be a part of it. You hate to see it kind of go, especially for somebody that you care for deeply and stuff that believed in you to give you opportunity. But I said, the way we ended the season though, another gift from God, in my opinion, another blessing. I mean, we knew we had the talent. We knew we had, we could do it. It was just a matter of putting it on film and getting it done. And we was able to do that at the end of the year. So I'm thankful. Like I said, I don't want to be in that situation again. I can promise you that. So I'm trying to do everything in my power to keep us out of that situation again. But I do also understand that, it's college football, and I kind of signed up for this thing. So, me and my family, we're going to take everything on the chin, and we're going to stay prayed up and do what we need to do.
You talked about bringing in Chase a second ago, and you brought in 3 Power 4 guys this year. Can you tell us a little bit about those guys and what you're excited about?
The new 3?
Yeah, the new 3.
So the new guys, you got Tyler Johnson. He's the Penn State transfer. He's very smooth. Been predominantly running him outside. He does some really good things. Like he flashed in the spring, catches the ball well, like elite feet, like releases, getting in and out of his breaks, all of that good stuff. So he fits the mold. You know what I mean? He definitely fits the mold. He comes from Penn State, which is a powerhouse conference. You know what I mean? So he was coached well. I know his receiver coach, his head coach, all of that good stuff. So I know he's cut from the right cloth and all that good stuff. He's just kind of getting settled into how we do things, learning new offense, all of that good stuff. But have high hopes for him. Jaquez Pettaway, he came from Oklahoma. He was the number 2 there. He played some meaningful snaps for sure. He can roll. That's one thing he can do. He's not going to be as big in stature. He's maybe not as true, like rocked up as Winston was, but they're very similar into, the way they move and the things that they do. I think Quez just moves a little bit better. Like he top end speed, he has him there, and he's just a little bit more shiftier. If I can say so there. He showed some signs in the spring. I'm looking forward to getting to the year with him and kind of getting him more and more steady in and kind of increasing his role. He's played a part. He played in the SEC, all of that good stuff. But I'm trying to give him into an increased role to the point where how much can you really handle? You know what I mean? But he's doing what he needs to do. He's working his butt off. He's learning. He's putting his foot forward, doing what he needs to do. And then the last one from the P4 tree would be Peyton Mangrum. Peyton Mangrum, he came from South Carolina. He's that kind of that little Swiss Army knife. He can play inside. He can play outside. He can do a little bit of everything there. He's sure-handed. That's for sure. I don't care where you throw that ball. He's either going to go get it or he's going to maneuver his body in some crazy position to make the catch. And I think it goes a long ways for consistency. You know what I mean? Being able to show that on a day-to-day basis. So I'm very high on him, and he's also a very big special teams guy. Like all 3 of these guys will be should to help us on special teams. But Quez and Peyton for sure, they are going to be big time in the special team game also.
When I saw that Peyton was, I looked him up when he first transferred. And I saw he was inspirational walk-on twice. When you said Swiss Army knife and he's going to play special teams, sure-handed, when I saw that, I was like, inspirational walk-on, you're grinding. You're going to do whatever the coach wants you to do. So I saw that and was super fired up when I saw that transfer there.
No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. I love him.
You talked about the way that y'all ended last year. State was one of the cooler bowl victories we were there. I mean, it was obviously awesome. Good for you guys to stay here too.
Yes, sir.
You played them first game next year.
Yep.
And I know y'all don't pay attention to the lines. You might not want to talk about too much, but there's a line out there that y'all are 14-point underdog.
All good.
All
good.
Do you just think that's because of transfers? Or, I mean, what do you just...
To be honest, I don't know what it's for. I have no idea what it's about. Like, I have no clue. I mean, I don't really I'm not a big gambling guy, so I truly don't understand the lines of how it all works. I just don't. But I saw a couple tweets out. I saw some things that got us, under 14 points, all that good stuff, which is fine. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking about, what they're looking about, whatever the case may be, because we got a lot of good players coming back, and especially on offense. So it's one of those ones where it's like, man, y'all like doubting our ability to kind of score. That's how I look at it. I look at it as if, okay, you saying, okay, we was a fluke, whatever the case is, we're not gonna be able to score points. That's fine. Just giving us more bulletin board material, more like fire to fuel to the fire to be able to get us going, to line us up that much more to get there. But I know it's going to be a good game. I know they're going to be ready. I know we're going to be ready. We got to go to their house, which is fine. It is what it is. But
it's awesome.
I love away games. I love away games. I grew up going to NC State. My uncle played D tackle there. So
cool. Yeah.
I've been at a lot during the Torrey Holt era, all of that type of stuff. So I watched a bunch of NC State games. So I'm looking forward to getting back there for sure.
Top 2 away locker room all time.
Yeah,
I will give them credit. Their away locker room is nice.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's really nice.
I had no idea.
Just a couple more questions, and we'll let you go.
Good.
You've been through a couple different head coaches now. You've seen Blake Hurl kind of step into a role. He was defense coordinator for us. So we already know how he is, and pretty much what you see is what you get.
Yes, sir.
How has he been as a head coach kind of in his first offseason?
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Me and Coach Hurl had a really good relationship beforehand.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's on the defensive side and I'm on the offensive side, so we haven't been coaching side by side, you know what I mean? But he's always we always had that relationship. I could stop in and talk to him about whatever. Same thing, vice versa. Our families could talk together all the time, all of that good stuff. My wife, his daughters, my sons, all of that. So He's hit the ground running. I know it's a lot thrown at him. I know from moving from the DC seat to the head man chair, I get it. I know it's more than probably what he initially thought, but I think he's been handling it well. I think he's doing the very best that he possibly can do. I think he always has everybody in the program or organization best interest at mind, and that's all you can really ask for here, man. You know what I mean? Nobody is going to do anything perfect by no means, and we're figuring it out, but we're figuring it out together. And everything that we're doing, we're trying to make sure that, the Pirates continue to move in the direction that we want to move in and keep winning more and more games, as the years kind of go along.
Yes, sir.
What's the goals for your receiver room this year?
Win. To be honest with you, I want to win. That's who I am. That's who I've always been. Yeah. I feel like if we win and we do what we need to do on offense, all of the goals that my guys set personally, they'll come true. Like, it's kind of the same thing for last year. It was like, man, everybody, you got goals. Yeah, but if you're not winning, you ain't going to accomplish none of them goals. None of it matters, because if you're not winning, that means you ain't making enough plays to get the goals that that you want to have set. But if you're winning, that means we're going out, we're doing what we need to do, we're executing, you're making your plays, there's enough to go around. Everybody should be happy, and everybody going to achieve the goals that we got set. So me personally, I just want to win. Like, I want to win at home, I want to win at away, and I want to win every time we line up on the field. That's what I want to do. And if my guys, we go out and score 20, 50 touchdowns and see, cool, let's go. But regardless, winning is the ultimate goal for what I want the team and the program to do.
I love it, Coach. You got me fired up. Appreciate you joining, man.
If you ever need me out there for release drills, I got the guys.
Say less, bro.
Appreciate it.
Say less.